is the best commander deck for beginners or newcomers to Magic the Gathering? Well, there are a few variables to consider, but based off of my extensive research and personal experience with the game, I have come to a conclusion. The Commander format for the Magic the Gathering card game has been booming in popularity for the last few years, and I should know it's how I got into this silly little card game a few years back. Commander is the perfect way for Magic the Gathering newcomers to be introduced to the game, especially if you're more interested in playing the game casually, also like myself. You will also hear the Commander format go by a couple other names like EDH, which just stands for Elder Dragon Highlander, and CEDH, which is Competitive Elder Dragon Highlander. Don't ask me why it's called that because I currently do not know. But that's enough Commander lore for now. Let's get into why I think Lathril Blade of the Elves, aka the Elven Empire pre-constructed Commander deck, is, in my opinion, the best Commander deck for beginners or newcomers to the Magic the Gathering Commander format. I've come to this conclusion based off the variables of ease of use, the fun factor of course, the deck's upgradeability, and of course the price. Lathril Blade of the Elves is a very popular commander to build a commander deck around in the Magic the Gathering community, and it's one that I actually play quite frequently. Lathril is a green-black commander deck whose main objective is to create a ton of elf soldier creature tokens and to take your opponent's life away while you gain life. Lathril is the commander of the Elven Empire pre-constructed deck, meaning the deck comes pre-made in a box that you can purchase from a local game store, aka LGS, near you. I'll touch on where you should buy the deck and why later on in this video. You might start hearing the word elf tribal or elf typal thrown around in reference to this deck. Tribal or typal is just a word that's used in referencing a deck that has only one kind of creature pretty much. There is elf typal, dinosaur typal, human typal, elk typal, and even squirrel typal. This is your warning. Squirrel typal decks might be cute, but they will ultimately lead to your destruction. Let's get into the ease of use of this commander deck. When it comes to a beginner-friendly commander deck, the ease of use of the mechanic is the most important part. Learning how to play Magic is a fun, but sometimes very intimidating experience. And accidentally choosing a commander deck for yourself with mechanics that are confusing even to the most seasoned Magic players sometimes will just make that process even more overwhelming. The mechanics in this Elven Empire pre-constructed deck are fairly simple in comparison to all of the other MTG mechanics. The main mechanics of this deck are creature token creation, mana ramp, life gain, and strengthening your creatures with counters and other abilities. Your mana ramp gives you more mana to play a lot of low-cost elf cards. Those elves have awesome abilities that buff the rest of your elves, including your commander, Lathril. The more powerful your commander elf is, and the more elf creature tokens you have, means more life drain you can inflict upon your opponents, and life gain you can inflict upon yourself. This deck masters the art of going 0 to 100 real quick. It also does an amazing job of using simpler mechanics to teach new players the importance of deck synergy, which just means the relationship your cards in your deck have with each other and how they work together to create a very powerful presence on your battlefield, which your opponents can't just destroy by taking away only one or two of your cards. If you are ever confused on how to play the Commander format, any of the mechanics on Magic the Gathering cards, or anything else Magic related, I strongly suggest typing your question into the YouTube search engine and finding a video on it. Eventually, I would like to have content that goes over these topics, but until that day comes, I absolutely love the Tolarian Community College and the Command Zone YouTube channels for learning about how to play this game. They were the channels that I used a ton when I started playing Magic, and I could not suggest them enough. Having a deck that you understand is great and all, but it doesn't really matter if you're not having fun. I mean, why else play the game if not to have fun? I'm looking at you, blue control players. Things that contribute to the fun factor of your commander deck would be the theme of the deck, how the deck plays, and honestly how good the deck is. For myself and for a lot of people in the Magic the Gathering community, the Elven Empire deck checks all three boxes. 1, the deck is full of a bunch of elf cards, and let's be honest, we all think elves are cool and wish we could be them. 2, the cards in this deck have amazing synergy together and can make for some very entertaining turns. The creatures in this deck are also very low cost, which means you get to start having fun faster. And 3, the pre-constructed Elven Empire deck is good, but not too good. Allow me to elaborate on that. If your deck sucks and the average commander player can kick you out of the game before you really got the chance to do anything exciting, you're not having fun. On the other side of that coin, if your deck is too powerful and practically a competitive EDH level deck, then you will probably end the game too quickly and will have single-handedly destroyed all of your friends by turn 4, which means they don't have fun and neither did you because you wanted to play longer. And you also feel a little guilty. There is a range in the middle of those two opposite polarities where the perfect casual commander decks exist, and this one falls right into it. The Lathril Blade of the Elves deck is perfectly balanced for casual play, especially if you're playing with friends who are also new to Magic and you guys are trying to learn by playing together. Like my friend group though, you and your friends will inevitably start to get hungry. Hungry for what that is? Power. You'll want to raise the stakes, add a little spice, take your commander matches to new heights, and that is where the phenomenal upgradeability potential in this deck comes into play. I am unhealthily emotionally attached to a lot of my commander decks, much like my fellow commander players, and I am especially attached to my first ever Precon that I bought and played, which fun fact was Sephiroth of the Hidden Ways. I purchased the Elven Empire deck last year, and I upgraded the out of it, making the synergy and power of this deck even more potent than it already was. On the screen, I've put a list of all the cards I took out of the Elven Empire Precon and a list of all the cards I replaced the original ones with. If you would like an Elven Empire upgrade guide video, let me know in the comments below and I can go more into depth on why I replaced the cards I did. But for now, please feel free to screenshot this list if you're interested in upgrading your Elven Empire Precon the way I have. Since this video is made with keeping new Magic players at the forefront of my mind, I would advise you to learn how to play Commander with the original pre-constructed deck as is, and then upgrade it when you have a better understanding of the game and your deck. You can order the cards for your upgrade from Card Kingdom, TCG Player, or an LGS near you. The price of pre-constructed Commander decks, new and old, has shot up in the last few years, and they continue to rise. At the time this video was made, the Elven Empire is currently $94.99 off of Amazon, which is a considerable amount of change for a lot of thin cardboard inside of a thin cardboard box. Listen, I said this game was fun. I never said anything about it being cheap. I bought this deck from the LGS Laughing Dragon in Issaquah, Washington for $32. That was a year ago, and this deck has gotten a little bit more rare to find, and the price has definitely increased. This is not the cheapest pre-constructed commander deck you can find, but that's because it's older, really popular, and just a flat-out very good pre-constructed commander. This deck can be a little hard to find in stock at local game stores, but luckily we live in the age of Google, phone calls, and subscribing down below if you're enjoying this video. To save yourself some driving time, give your LGS of choice a call and ask them if they have the Elven Empire Precon in stock and how much they're currently selling it for. Also, by purchasing from your favorite local game store, you are supporting a small business that deeply cares for Magic and for cultivating its community in their area. So when at all possible, always purchase from local game shops. Listen, Amazon doesn't need any more of your money. The Lathril Blade of the Elves deck has gone by many names. Lathril, Elven Empire, Elf Hypel, Elf Ball, the Wideboard Nightmare, does anyone have any board wipes in their commander deck? Etc. But my new name for this beauty is the best commander deck for beginners, or anyone who wants a deck that is fun, has longevity, and can hold its own on the commander battlefield. But I suppose it is kind of a long name, isn't it? If you have any comments or questions regarding the Elven Empire pre-constructed deck, Lathril as a commander, or anything regarding Magic the Gathering at all, please leave a comment in the comments down below. I will usually respond within 24 hours. I'm here to support you on your Magic the Gathering journey. No question is a dumb question when you are trying to learn this very fun beast of a card game. I would love it if you could like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoy my Magic content. Subscribing to this channel is currently the #1 way to support me supporting you. Let me know what kind of Magic content you guys want to see next, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!